Right, we're recording the meeting.
Okay, thanks very much. Welcome to the meeting of the Executive Cabinet Member Leaders Portfolio. There's only 2 items on the agenda today. So the first one is the monitoring of Executive Cabinet Member decisions, which were circulated to members earlier. Is there any issues anybody wants to raise on that? If not, I can note that report. Go on to the substantive item, which is the redevelopment of Sunnyside Community Centre, Community Shop, CIC tenancy and associated investment. I'm presuming Justin. Sorry, Charlotte, you've raised your hand there.
Yeah, so I just want to declare I am actually a company shop member. Obviously, I'm not the decision maker, but I just want it known that I am a member of the company shop.
Okay, thanks very much for that. I think Vicky can probably just note that as a non-pecuniary interest.
Yeah, obviously, because Councillor Sears is not a decision maker. She's only here to observe. She hasn't got an actual pecuniary interest.
Sure. Okay, Lee or Justin, are you? Justin, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor Peel. So, thank you everyone this morning. We are here to discuss the opportunity at Great Lever Sunnyside Park. We have there's an opportunity to work with Community Shop CIC to rehabilitate Sunnyside Community Centre, which has been in poor repair for some time. It's an opportunity to invest some capital back into the property and have a competent end user to take forward a new community facility that will involve a community shop, but also ancillary community space as well, which can be then obviously used for the benefit of the people of Great Lever. The property is in a very, very poor condition. We've had various surveys over the last few years, and we've now got the opportunity to work with a partner who can take on a significant amount of that burden. We have done an estimate of the cost to get the property back up to a competent state to be able to hand it over to a future tenant. At the moment, the cost and that appraisal will be around the £400,000 mark, just to get it stable and what we call a white box position, to be able to then lease it to another organisation who would then take it, fit it out to their specification, and then lease it back from the council. So we're here today to ask for funds from the Great Lever Community Fund, which was part of an initial settlement, I think, due to a fire at Great Lever Community Centre on Bradford Road around 2018. I think the former property at Bradford Road had been in a poor condition for a long time, and around 2017, I think it was around October 2017, there was an ECM decision to help with the rehabilitation of that property. Some money is allocated, but then that didn't happen because of the fire in 2018. And then over the last few years, obviously, we've been the people of Great Lever have not had a decent community offering in their ward. So there's a real opportunity here for us as corporate property to take on this rehabilitation of the property and then lease it through my delegated authority to Community Shop in the future. But the step that we need to take is to release some of the monies from the Great Lever Fire Fund. Thank you, Chair. You're on mute, sir.
Thank you. I'll open it up to any questions at that point, clarification. Councillor Muslim.
Yeah, thank you, Leader. So I just want to be clear there, because the report. So there was a fire, and I appreciate there was a community usage of that building, means it's unviable now. And so you're basically looking to redevelop somewhere else, using that money from the insurance to create what is now what will be the community shop. I think that for me that seems fine. I understand the reasoning behind that. What I'm less sure about is the £400,000, or £500,000, sorry, towards the new cricket and community sports pavilion. and how that actually fits into the community shop side of things. Like the community shops bit seems understandable given that asset was lost, but then this allocation of 500,000 to do a cricket pitch and playing fields and pavilion strikes me as it's not the same thing really. So, but it's focused in the same report. So, any more context on that?
Just before Justin came in, if I was in your position, I would have asked exactly the same question. The report, slightly critical now. The report could have been a bit clearer on that, but Justin, I'm sure you've got an answer there.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think that, and Councillor Muslin, thank you for the question. It's because the monies have been allocated for ring fenced historically for projects in Great Lever. It wasn't specified specifically for the Sunnyside community centre. We've got the opportunity at this point to spend £400,000 of that, no more, but £400,000 on the Sunnyside community centre, which leaves a sum, a balance of about 500,000 left for further uses. And in consultation with ward members for Great Lever, they've articulated that they would like another community centre or some sort of community sports offering at this St William's playing field site at Nugent Road. So Director of Corporate Resources, Lee Fallows, and myself have met with members on site. We've sort of walked the site with them and understand or sort of captured what it is that they're trying to do in that location. So the legacy of the Great Lever Community Centre on Bradford Road gives us an opportunity to do an intervention on Sunnyside and use the £400,000 which we've estimated for the rehabilitation of that property to be able to let it to a community shop organisation. And then it gives us the opportunity to do something else as well. Now, this is something that there's been a specific ask of the ward members that we try and create a community sports facility with a pavilion, community space, and cricket provision if possible. So as officers, we've taken that request, we've looked at it, and we have spoken to the English Cricket Board and Lancashire Cricket. They've identified the site and they've been very helpful with us. They've identified it's not really credible and viable as a professional cricket facility for a club level competition style cricket facility, but it could be used for cricket sort of junior level and a sort of second tier level for sort of in the community. That would require significant investment. It's not just about building a clubhouse and sort of just obviously replanting the seed of the grass. It's also they'll need to have nets and things like that as well around the perimeter of the site because there's an adjacent primary school and things like that as well. So it's a significant project which we will be looking at taking on over the next few months. I've instructed our capital projects team to do a feasibility study. We're working, as I said, with the ECB, Lancashire Cricket, but also Sports England about how we can sort of start to sort of build up a extra funding that will go into that in terms of grant and sponsorship and things like that as well. So we're just looking at how we can provide a community sports facility on that St William's playing field. We haven't got significant detail on it at this point. The report does reference it, but it's at this point in time, we're not really here to discuss the future viability of the St William's playing field opportunity, but a commitment to try and develop some sort of facility down there that would suit the community. So the purpose of today, obviously, is the Sunnyside Community Centre and the £400,000 that we would need as a service to get it up to speed to be able to do this letting to community shop.
Okay.
Right.
Follow up, Councillor Muslin.
I mean, that makes a bit more sense. I just think it's a bit random how it's been presented in the report, really. So I suppose the comments more on how it's presented in the report rather than of the proposal itself at this moment. Thank you.
I'll take that, and thank you for the feedback. And every day's a learning day, so thank you.
There has been a similar conversation, Nadeem. Just for absolute clarity, the sum total is 900,000 400,000 to Sunnyside, 500,000 kept in reserve for conceptual development at St William's. As Justin referenced at the start of the thing, there was a capital allocation to rebuild the former library, but then it burnt down. So we had the capital allocation and then the insurance money, hence you get the bigger amount of money. Councillor Wilkinson.
Yeah, just to follow on this report, I have to say, not a good one. I'm going to be quite blunt about it because you've muddied the water, two separate items. And I think you've encouraged people to, take this sporting initiative up, which is a good idea. I'm all in favour of sport-related activity. But I just think we've slightly muddied the water trying to get two pieces of good news through on one report. And there's lots of questions about maintenance, who's going to look after it, who's going to use it, how the pitch is going to be maintained, because cricket pitches aren't a simple thing to look after. They take a lot of time, effort and resource. I mean, we've got 3 cricket clubs in West Bolton, and they all have a massive role with young people in West Bolton. So I just disappointed that we tried to put too much in one report and should have just concentrated on the community building and getting that back up to scratch, quite honestly. My opinion.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I think totally sympathise. I think that's a fair comment to make, Councillor Wilkinson. What I wanted to do with ECM was this decision is primarily about Sunnyside, but I wanted the report to reference the balance. Hence, it is deliberately quite vague because that remains an allocation of money that's largely conceptual at the moment, whereas the Sunnyside is ready to hit the ground running ASAP. Anything to add to that, Justin?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And thank you, Councillor Wilkinson. I appreciate it. It doesn't help the matter diluting the fact that we are trying to focus on Sunnyside here, and as you say, it is a good news story. Part of the conversation we've had with ward members is that it's about getting the right balance of community space back into that community. I'm using the word community a few times. Apologies for that, but I think as the leader did say, it's about making sure that we highlight the fact that there is a requirement for this intervention at St William's playing fields as well, that as corporate property we will try and honour that as well, but we will come back with a formal report to potentially ECM to obviously then to take that through. So this is not it's referenced in the report, but it's not actually about St William's today. We're not asking for a decision on St William's today. It's just on Sunnyside, but it gives us that we're making a commitment to actually sort of follow through on a promise that we made to ward members that we will try and look and do something here for that Nugent Road site.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, just going onto the community shop concept, welcome you to contribute, Councillor C, if you wish to. But I think this is the first of its kind in Bolton. I think it's a really exciting project whereby you get a shop facility that is in effect run by the local community, employing local people, and is open to the local community, but also contains facilities for use outside of the shop or during the shopping hours. Actually, I think it's a really exciting one. I'd love to see more of these developed because I think it's an outcome-based intervention for cost of living issues. And it's something that directly involves local people in running that, which I think is an amazing concept, really. I know they do exist in other parts of the country, which council cities will be aware of. And I think, and I suppose that, Phil, just before you come in, I mean, my final word on this is this allocation was 2018, and I know that the Great Lever councillors and former councillor Madeline Murray in particular have been incredibly patient. There was a long delay for a while because the original idea was to redevelop the sites that burnt down. And once that became financially unviable, it was then looking at other potential geographical sites within that area. Hence a very long delay. So I do commend the councillors there for their patience on this. Final word, Phil.
Yeah, thank you, Leader. I was only going to reiterate what the leader just said. We went out to see the community shop that's in operation at Bolton, and it is a fabulous facility. And community shop are already running, I think, 15 of them nationally. So I think for Bolton, it's a fantastic opportunity. It'll be a brilliant facility for the community, and obviously members will be able to use it as well for meeting space. There's a free cafe for children to eat free there, and it's subsidised, and they work a lot trying to get members of the community into employment as well. So it's a really wide-ranging, fantastic offer. So I think it was just to add those comments to the leader's comments. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. An exciting project. Thanks everybody for your contributions. So I'm happy to approve the recommendations in that report. I think for the purpose of clarity, Vicky, I will want to amend, following Councillor Deems and Councillor Wilkinson's comments, I will want to amend, find it, recommendation. You just point me to the right direction, Vicky.
Point 3 on the
Sorry, it's
okay.
Recommendation 3. It just needs to reference at the end of that full stop after pavilion that this is from existing allocated resources. It just saves the, questions come up, is this new money? It's from existing allocated resources. And that will just add to the clarity of that. So appreciate people's questions on that. Okay, thank you. That then concludes the meeting. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.